Joining me now is Josh Sadler. Of course, this is Josh Sadler's show, and good to have you back, Coach. Good to see you. It's been a minute. We didn't go fishing. We didn't get to go fishing like we wanted to, but it was too hot. Let's put it out there. It was hot.
Well, I'd love to tell you the heat that kept me off the water, but it had nothing to do with the heat, baby. It had everything to do with the grind that we had to do here in the off season and what we had to do in our summer program. My boat didn't see the water this summer. And that never happens. But, the important piece for us is that our kids were here, they were working, we were getting the things done that we needed to get done and, to get us prepared for the season.
Yep, a year or two for you. You get more familiar with the kids. They know your system a little bit better. How are things looking? Let's start on the offensive side of the ball. How are the Roos looking over there?
We're installing my offense that I ran at Temple, which is a big change for them. We're going from a huddle system to a no huddle system and a tempo system at that. So it's a different change for them. They weren't used to that. And so it's coming around. It's slowly but surely, coming around, and I think we'll be just fine at the end of the day. We'll see how we execute, this week versus Chaparral. First scrimmage came out, and I thought the offense did really well. We ran the ball well. We threw the ball well. And then against Temple, we struggled. We struggled a little bit in pass pro, and we couldn't get the ball down the field like we wanted to. Temple's, good football team, and they got some really good defensive linemen, and they kind of exposed us in a couple of places and made us go back to the grassroots, so to speak, and get back to work, on some simple things, just some technical things. So, I'm pleased where we are with the offense. I wish it was a little further along, but I think that's everybody that's a coach in anything. They're going to wish it were a little bit further along. I'm pleased with the kids, and where they're at, and how they're performing right now. I think our strong points are skill kids right now. We got some good receivers, got some good running backs, got a really good quarterback coming back. We've got to execute and get things done out there, but as always, it's going to come down to the guys up front, and we're so youthful up there just with playing experience. And so, those guys have got to really work together and gel together, and I think it'll get better week by week. It's not that I think. I know they're going to get better week by week, and we just got to give them that time to work together to be cohesive. I think it'll come in due time.
So with your new offense, what's the mix of pass to throw?
You try to keep it 50-50. You always do. It's going to probably teeter on 60-40 one way or the other, and in it too, it's game to game.
Right.
It's where you feel like you can attack people, so, if you think that you can attack them with the passing game a little bit more, maybe quick passing or maybe even deep passing, it may be more 60-40 pass. But if you feel like your guys can get after them up front, which, you go into ball games sometimes thinking that. You attack them in the run game, and so that kind of varies. I'd love to give you kind of, hey, we're going to throw it more we run it, or we're going to run it more we throw it.
You never know.
But it's week to week for us.
Right.
That's the way I've always been as a play caller. It's going to be week to week, and we're literally trying to attack weak points that we find in a defense.
Yeah, because if you got a rusher going for 150 yards at halftime, you're not going to start. Well, let's start throwing the ball now.
Correct.
It's like,
if they're 285 across the front and we're not able to move people around, I'm not going to bang my head against the wall and try to run into that either.
Yeah.
We're going to sling it around and try to get those guys tired so that we can eventually start running a little bit. It's kind of keep away, so to speak.
Yeah.
And try to move people and get them in uncomfortable situations. So
throwing on the run, we're going to see a lot of that.
You'll see some. I'm not going to tell you won't.
You're not going to tell me your whole game plan.
No, I'm not going to tell you just a whole lot. I'm going to tell you that we got a good bit of quick passing game, and we've skilled guys to match it, and then we try to press the ball down the field. Most of these guys in this town, saw it when I was at Temple, so it's not going to be a big surprise to anybody.
Right.
Because it was on showcase at Leo Buckley several times, and so it's the same style of offense I ran there. We're going to run it here and try to get as good as we can at it.
And of course, you got the coaches in your second year. How are things going with that?
Going well. Had some changes on staff. My offense coordinator left and went to Palacios. Just one of them deals. It was kind of a health deal for him. He had to get closer to Houston to be, near some hospitals and things. But fully respect that. Love that guy. Wish he hadn't left. Lon's a great dude. He is a great dude, and
you lost one of your players there too.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Ty.
Well, and Coach Trecca left, yes, and went down there as well.
Yeah.
To be the head baseball coach down there.
So yeah.
But we replaced a few staff members. Coach Russell got moved into the defense coordinator position. A position he's familiar with. And I think he's set up and ready to go. We were able to hire a guy to be the assistant head coach I worked with before, who's really his right-hand guy on the defensive side, named John Matthews. Great hire, great defensive line guy. I mean, he's a great addition to our staff. So we promoted our quarterbacks coach to offensive coordinator. So he's under my wing right now, learning the offense the way I need him to, and
Great.
So made some good additions and made some good changes on staff, and I feel like our guys they're learning me too. I mean, even though it's the second year, I've still got a lot of new staff members, and so they're learning me too. And when I flipped it over and I'm the play caller on the offensive side, they're having to learn my thought process of how we practice on the offensive side, and that takes some time. It really does, because I am all go no play when it comes to that practice piece. So it's a little bit different style, a little bit different philosophy. So.
Yeah, and you've been practicing in the heat, so you're gonna be ready for that 104-degree temperature.
Absolutely, absolutely. We got a great athletic training staff, and Jessica Beeman she's on top of that heat piece. I mean, because we got policies in place here in KISD, and so we've been making sure that we follow the 90-minute rules, and we make sure that if we can be in full pads, we're in full pads, and if we're half pads, we're half pads. But we are in the heat every single day in the afternoon.
Well, this is how we're going to take it, game by game, week by week. So I'm not going to ask you about this year's schedule right now. I'm just going to ask you about the Chaparral Bobcats.
Okay. Well, they're a pretty well-coached football team, and Alan has done a great job in his first off season with those guys. I mean, I watched the film from last year and then watched the film of their scrimmages this year, and it's a 180-degree difference. And we always kid as coaches, we're not going to be very good, but I'm going to tell you right now, they're a good football team, and anybody takes them lightly is going to find something different. I mean, that's just it's what I see. And I know Alan, I know how he coaches, I know how he operates. He's going to have his kids ready to play football. And so they're going to run trap, buck, and the wingback sweep as well as anybody does around, and they're going to do it fast. And they're going to sprinkle in a little bit of bootleg every now and then, maybe 3 or 4 times a game, and catch you looking in the backfield, and they just do it so fluidly. It's just that hard nosed football, and it's a tough one to prepare for. They're in a defense coordinator in the state of Texas that loves to prepare for the slot T. We all sit around and go, man, I hate this stuff. So I mean, he's got a good thing going over there with that. I mean, and it's tough to stop. It just is, And then defensively, they can run around. They're playing some man coverage over there, and their athletes are getting around really well. Their front's pretty good. So we've got our work cut out for us. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for this one. That's gonna be a good one. Friday Night Lights. Can't wait for it. So
it's here.
7 o'clock kickoff, correct?
7 o'clock kickoff, yes, sir. Parent night.
Parent night. Gotta get there early.
Can't get there early. We got parents. We're going to, announce our kids and their parents, and just so appreciative of our parents and everything that they allow us to do with their children. I mean, they give us their trust to, help raise their kids. I mean, because we see them as much or more than they do during the day.
Yeah.
And so I can't be, more appreciative than I am right now of all of our parents, in the entire athletic program, that the trust that they give us as coaches to, be role models and influencers on their young men and women.
Well, you're going to have to take a little further walk to the stadium this year, but tell me about that walk and tell me about that pregame talk.
Well, I think that we can make it a traditional thing. Used to have, the Letterman walk that was out there, the sidewalk. And I think we can incorporate some of that tradition in with our walk down there. We're going to stay down there once we get down there, but have some sort of traditions built in that start now, because this is new for us. This is new for everybody at Killeen High School. So why not start those traditions? And, we'll get down there plenty early, and, and do our thing, so to speak. You got to try to make it as much like a home game, but it's really kind of like a visiting game because you're not in your locker room and all that kind of stuff like that. But we'll make it as much like home as we can, and we'll be prepared for that transition down there and how we have to do everything. So
I'm looking forward to it, buddy. I'll be down there with you.
me too. I'm looking forward to it as well.
Just don't put me in. My sciatic's bothering me right now, so I'm on the pup. So
That's fine. I'm just going to forewarn you, though, you're going to have to move fast on that sideline.
I've already decided I'm going to stand about 10 yards off the field. So, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing about that sideline. You never know what's going to happen.
And that new turf's beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yep, very
Looks
beautiful.
nice.
Thank you,
Looks
KISD, for taking care of the Leo Buckley Stadium and making sure that our kids have the best facilities around.
As always, give you the last word.
Hey, man, go Roos.
You're watching I-14 Sports Network.